for what is round 10 of the Euro NASCAR 2 season. Yesterday, we had an action-packed race that rather changed the complexion of the championship. We'll talk about that in a moment. We are here at Zolder, a circuit that will celebrate 60 years since opening in So hopefully you can hear me once again. A slight technical hiccup, but we are back as the cars are now on the circuit. Now seems like an opportune time to take a look at those point standings coming into this race in Euro NASCAR 2 in a little bit more detail, if we can get that graphic up. The top 10 in the championship right now, it's looking a little bit different. Liam Hazeman's with 25 points now, back from Alberto Nasca. It was well over 40 points just a day ago. Vladimir Osiortsis and Martin Dubek effectively tied in third and fourth on 52 points back apiece from Nasca. Ulis Delso and Paul Dufresne rounding out the overall top six. Yevgen Sokolovsky is the Legend Trophy points leader. Luli Del Castello, a top 10 yesterday. She retains the lead in the Lady Trophy. And Alberto Nasca, the Rookie Trophy points leader. Alberto Nasca, though, with a poor performance yesterday. He was fighting for the lead when his gearbox failed yesterday. So he will be keen to press on and move up the order today. Looking back to the circuit and once again to the paddock, Andre has an interview.
Yes, we have to hurry really up because I think we have the national anthems coming up. So Neo Lambert, the winner of the Club Challenge this weekend, how was it going here?
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. Great coming here for the first time. A bit through the wall. It was nice. But now I'm here as a spectator, yeah, supporting the team. Now there is Paul Jouffreau starting fourth, so yeah, let's support him.
All right, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. And now national anthems.
So then the national anthems have been played here at the circuit, and we are now in the final stages of preparing for the race. It's a race where we are going to have a mixed up grid once again. You may remember yesterday, if you were watching the EuroNASCAR race, there were a few safety cars, a few pauses, and since race one's fastest laps determined the grid for race two, that meant that a few drivers simply didn't get a quick lap in. Liam Hazeman's very much did. He is on our pole position for this race alongside Ulysse Delso. Gil Linster, who of course was up at the sharp end for the first time, his first podium yesterday. He will be joined on the second row by Paul Dufresne. In the fifth place, it is Claudio Remeggio Capelli, Yevgen Sokolovsky in sixth place as well. Great starting place for him. On his return, Kenko Miura in his third race back, as he's doing both EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro. The Japanese racer is in seventh, Tuomas Pontonen in eighth, Martin Dubek ninth, and Christian Maltarek rounding out our top 10. Where's our championship leader? Nowhere to be seen yet. Vladimiros Tsiotsis in 11th place. And not the start he would have liked, given the pace he had on Saturday morning in the changing conditions. Melvin de Groot, who finished fourth yesterday, well, he has to start from 12th place. Leonardo Colavita down to 13th after starting on the second row yesterday. Patrick Schauber in 14th, Roberto Benedetti in 15th, and there is Alberto Nasca, P16 for Nasca. He is going to have some work to do. He, of course, may well put himself in a good position to gain points through the fastest lap points gaining system. However, he is going to have to work from 16th, and he's going to be right there in the middle of the pack if dramas occur. Miguel Gomez in the 46 car. I think I see the car out there on the grid, very far off in the back of shot, which is a good sign because that car looked very damaged post race one. You may remember I thought that car might have had another car land on its bonnet. Such was the level of damage on the front end yesterday. Mikael Blekemolen is 18th on the grid. Christoph Lenz in the 58 is 19th, and in 20th place is Luli Del Castello, who scored top 10 yesterday overall. Alina Leubneger is next in 21st. Kasparis Vingelis is 22nd. 23rd place Eric Quintal. 24th place Jani Kokelainen. The final row of the grid is Ariana Casoli and Matthias Hauer. Hopefully we have the full quota of 26 cars, although I think I might be spying a gap or two on the grid, potentially behind Martin Dubek. And that would be in Vladimiros Tsiotsis. Yeah, the number 5 car of Tsiotsis isn't out there on the grid, and nor is the third place starter of Gil Linster. Gil Linster's car is also not on the grid. So there are a few gaps up and down the order. And that means that potentially we've got people starting from the pits, or worse, not taking the start. And that would be a huge shame, particularly for the likes of Gil Linster, because that car was in fine fettle at the end of yesterday's race. I don't know quite what they've found since then, but we can see one of the cars parked there, I believe. It's obviously not Gil Linster. His car is bright yellow. I believe that might be Tsiotsis, although the colours don't match. It's the 58 car. It's the 58 car of Christoph Lenz, I believe. And so Christoph Lenz is also having to start from the pit lane, but that's the only car there. So potentially at least 2 cars missing. Andre Viegold saying that technical issues have been discussed surrounding the 56 car. We did hear Linster saying that, I think he said in third gear, he didn't have the power he expected. So maybe something in the drivetrain somewhere. Lots of moving parts, of course. Hopefully then that car can be recovered for Euronascar Pro. But a huge shame for Gil Linster after his best race of the season yesterday. It looks as though he's not going to be taking the start this morning. Liam Hazelmans then will have one less car in his immediate proximity to worry about as he gets the race underway. We are now on the formation lap, and Hazelmans will soon lead the field away in a 2x2 rolling start formation. And I tell you what, Yevgen Sokolovsky's in for it, isn't he? He'll basically be starting in P4 now. Liam Hazelmans, though, at the front of the grid, as we alluded to previously. Ulis Del So, he will have his elbows out. He'll be looking to move up. No Gil Linster, by the looks of it. But he was meant to start in third place alongside this man, Paul Dufro, in the 33 car. Claudio Remigio Capelli in the 18. He will effectively be starting third place with the gaps on the grid. Yevgen Sokolovsky will be up there as well. Kenko Miura, the Japanese racer, on his return. Great to see him so high up the order. Tuomas Pontonen in P8. Ninth place, Martin Dubek, last year's Euronascar 2 champion. He could do with some solid points on the board today. And Christian Maltrek rounding out our top two. Our top 10, I think there's a top 2. Oopsie daisy. Christian Maltrek, incidentally, in the 11 car rather than the 24. The 24 this weekend is the exclusive domain of Anthony Kumpen in Euronascar Pro, so Maltrek has been put into an 11 car. The 24 car, incidentally, not the home Ballon Day this weekend. He's in the number 40 in Euronascar Pro. And just hearing a little bit of word from the Yevgen Sokolovsky end of the pits, the 46 and 48 cars, both prepared by Marco Stipp Motorsport. Of course, the 46 car, another one that was massively involved in a couple of collisions yesterday. And damage was more cosmetic than anything. It was just bodywork. And the bodywork does peel away quite easily if you have a heavy hit in these cars, which is good, dissipating energy away from impact and so on. But Marco Stipp Motorsport spent the morning, or spent the evening, letting people sign the cars. So there's a few fan signatures on the 48 of Yevgen Sokolovsky, and also on the 46 car. That, of course, being driven this morning by Miguel Gomez. So keep an eye on them if you know anyone who has put the signatures on the car. I understand the 56 and 57 cars are now at the end of pit lane. So there are, well, 56 and 58 cars, I should say, are at the end of pit lane. So we saw already that Christoph Lenz was there. Gil Linster is also ready to take the start. But he's not taking the start from row 2. He's taking the start from the back of the grid. So there's a few less cars between Alberto Nasca and the lead. He's unlikely to be able to push for the lead today in the 88. But let's see what he can do. Liam Hazelmans will be our leader in the early going as long as he gets this car launched properly. The Rolling Thunder of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series is go for the first time on the final day of regular season, and Liam Hazelmans covers off the circuit nicely, turning into turn 1. Everyone else too wide through the first corner, maybe even 3 wide further back. Alberto Nasca going into the gravel there, but he keeps the car on the straight and narrow. I think he made up a few places around the outside for good measure as we start this 15-lap, 60-kilometre race. And it is Liam Hazelmans in the early stages in the lead. I note there that we've got the graphics or the driver names for Euronascar Pro on screen. Those aren't the drivers we have in the cars at the moment. It is Hazelmans in the lead, but Adulis Del So there in second place. So Del So hounding the back of Liam Hazelmans in the early going. In third place it is Adulis Del So, actually, I should say, because Claudio Remigio Capelli has got himself up into second place. And in fourth is Paul Dufro. Where's Yevgen Sokolovsky? He's lost a few places. Yes, looks like he's down in 9th place now, so he's lost some time. Christian Maltrek, meanwhile, moving up to 8th place there. Kenko Miura skipping the Villeneuve chicane and losing a place in the process to Christian Maltrek, who's had a good first lap by the looks of it. Cars heading through the final sector for the first time of asking now. Looks like everybody is still there, and not with any askew bodywork. That's a good sign. Gil Linster is out there. Not got any indication on the timing screen regarding the 58 car coming out onto circuit, though, so potentially Christoph Lenz still with some problems. Gil Linster, though, is out there on circuit. Side-by-side action there between De Groot and Yevgen Sokolovsky. De Groot to the inside, and there is Alberto Nasca. He has just got himself ahead of the 65 car of Cosimo Barber, Roberto Benedetti, I should say. Roberto Benedetti then has lost 12th place to Alberto Nasca, so Nasca already up into 12th place. A 12th place finish wouldn't grant him a terrible haul of points, incidentally. I believe it would be 24 points for P12 if my maths doesn't fail me. It's 40 points for a race win here in EuroNASCAR, 35 points for second place, and then it goes down in increments of 1 from there. So third place gains you 34, so on and so forth. So in theory, if he can get the car up into a solid top 10 position, he'll still score decent points, but heading in to the season finale, the double points closer of the season at Zolder later in the month, he would have a dramatically reduced points advantage over the leader, Liam Hasemans, if things were to finish right now. Side by side, just ahead of Nasca between Sokolovsky and I believe that is still De Groot scrapping with him. In fact, it could be Colavita. It is Colavita, of course. So Leonardo Colavita and Alberto Nasca hounding Yevgen Sokolovsky, who I think, to be fair and honest to him, is probably a little bit out of position this morning, and he's lost a bit of time in the first couple of laps. Colavita is through, and so is Alberto Nasca. So Alberto Nasca in the wheel tracks of Leonardo Colavita now. As he goes up the order, I think the challenge, the difficulty level is only going to increase, a bit like a video game. I somehow doubt he's going to get to the final boss this morning. Of course, the field may well compact up at some point with safety cars. We had a fair few of them yesterday, and some kicking up of dust there. Hopefully there's not a car in the cloud. It doesn't appear there is. Alberto Nasca may get the opportunity. No, not close enough to Colavita. I was going to say, turn 5 often a good overtaking opportunity. Thought he might give it a go, but he was nowhere near close enough on this occasion. Colavita, much younger man than Alberto Nasca. Nasca, despite being in the rookie class, despite being new to EuroNASCAR, has done a lot of racing in his native Italy. Side by side between Giuffreau and Pontonen in the battle for 4th place there. So it looks though the top 3 are able to get away at the moment as Giuffreau and Pontonen go side by side. That said, Ulysse Delceau isn't that far up the road from Giuffreau in 4th place. Martin Dubek is behind them in 6th, and Moucharek up to 7th place right now. Kenko Miura running solidly in the top 10 at the moment after ending up in the gravel yesterday in EuroNASCAR 2. I'm sure it would be a welcome treat for him to finish in the top 10 today. He's also leading the Legends class at the moment for the elder drivers, so he's doing very well indeed. Alberto Nasca has a nose ahead of Leonardo Colavita. He has passed Leonardo Colavita. The driver with the red sunstrip, the championship leader's sunstrip, is pushing on, and he is going to be hugely keen on retaining that going into the season finale. We know, in fact, that he will, even if he were to score absolutely nothing this weekend, he'd still be topping the championship. However, it's going to be a much smaller margin potentially over Liam Hasemans unless Nasca can work his way through this pack of cars we see here. And I tell you what, Nasca's probably just started gripping the steering wheel a little bit heavier because he can see the pack that's up ahead. He's counting the cars that are up ahead of him and going, oh boy, this might be entertaining. Car 47, Leonardo Colavita, 5-second penalty for a false start, so he has been slapped on the wrist there with a 5-second time penalty to be applied at the end of the race. So he's already lost a couple of places since we got started. He just lost 10th place to Alberto Nasca, and now Leonardo Colavita will get a 5-second penalty at the end of the race. Anyone who gets a penalty, of course, will be out crossing their fingers and desperately hoping that there is not a safety car, because if the field strings out, they'll lose less positions when the penalty is applied. Capelli and Del So have lost a lot of time at this point to Liam Hazeemans. The gap is out to 3.2 seconds. Hazeemans is just doing what he has to do at the sharp end of the order, and already on the back of the next car is Alberto Nasca. He's actually just behind Paul Dufro, who has dropped down the order significantly on that lap. So down to from 4th to 9th place was Paul Dufro. We did see that on screen. I apologise. I must have missed that while looking at timing screen or some such. But he's gone from 4th to 9th place. He's now under pressure from Alberto Nasca. Just getting some word that the 56 car didn't have a cylinder working. Gil Linster's team have had to work hard to get that engine quite literally firing on all cylinders once again. So then Cal Racing's number 88 car has so often been at the sharp end of the order in EuroNASCAR 2 this season. Unfamiliar territory this for Alberto Nasca, fighting his way back through the order. Before this weekend, his worst finish of the season was a 5th place, and his home turf, no less, in Vallelunga. That was the one circuit he was very confident about, because he didn't need to learn it. He already knew it like the back of his hand, and yet that was where he had his worst finish. Martin Dubek straight on. Dubek with a problem there. Now that, to me, didn't look like a man who'd missed his braking zone dramatically and was trying to get the car stopped. That looked like someone who had a problem. Martin Dubek withdraws from what was 5th place. That's big news and a big shame for our reigning champion in EuroNASCAR 2. Could that be the moment that spells the end of his championship campaign ultimately? Kenko Miura has been overtaken by Alberto Nasca, and now he's trying to go side by side with Paul Dufro. Oh, and Dufro on the curbs a bit too much there, got the car loose. Thankfully, Alberto Nasca wasn't collected. Dufro held it together nicely, but that does mean that Alberto Nasca is now up to 7th place. So Nasca really making up the places and indeed the points right now. This is a great drive from the Italian. His best lap of the race so far is a 138.254. Of course, there is no grid to be set by this, but he is the fastest man out there on circuit right now. By the looks of it, Nasca is pressing on. There's Colavita. He's gaining it on Miura and Dufro at the moment. Of course, he's got that 5-second penalty hanging over his head. So if he can make up some more places without losing any time to those behind him, that would be the ideal scenario. Tuomas Pontonen has not been off the back of Ulis Del So pretty much all morning. Del So still under pressure for that last podium position from Tuomas Pontonen, the Finn. Side by side there, a little further back in the pack. In fact, I think that was Del So and Pontonen again. Yes, it was, just behind Claudio Remigio Capelli. So they come across the line for 3rd place. And then in 5th place now, courtesy of Martin Dubek's issues, we have Christian Malczarek in the 11 car. Malczarek followed by De Groot and Alberto Nasca. Nasca, who had a 25-point deficit over Liam Hazeemans coming into this one, 3 points drop. Is clearly hoping to get every point he can. Pontonen was technically ahead at the line. He's managed to get himself past Del So on that lap. Yes, he has. So there is the proof in the pudding that Pontonen is now ahead of Ulis Del So. Good job from the Finn. Meanwhile, Malczarek watching De Groot in the mirrors, and he's probably all too aware Alberto Nasca is lurking just behind as well. It's a 3-car scrap for 5th place. It's also a 3-car scrap for 8th place, as Paul Dufro, Kenko Miura and Leonardo Colavita scrap it out. Nasca, though, clearly pushing the car to the raggedy edge, sideways on the curb there, coming out of the Villeneuve chicane, putting the hammer down as best he can, putting all the power his boot can muster through those Perugia tyres. That Alina Loebneger was in the pits as well. She is back out on the circuit, incidentally, but she has lost a couple of laps. We've got yellow flags at turn 8 and 9. Now that is towards the back end of the circuit. That is between, in fact, that would be at the Jochen Rindt box, which is turn 9. So that could be a drama, although the yellow flags have now been lifted, so thankfully not. Alberto Nasca up the inside there of Melvin de Groot. Always worry when I see the yellow flags out. We might end up with a greater incident, let's say. No problems on this occasion as Nasca continues to try and drive around the outside, but I don't think he's going to be afforded the room. Has he got ahead? No, not quite. I thought maybe he just managed to cut ahead, but no. Melvin de Groot is being forceful here. He is now leading the Legend Trophy classification, incidentally, since he got past Kenko Miura. But he is focused right now on getting another solid result in the overall standings. And Alberto Nasca, as revered as he already is in this paddock, he's not going to receive an easy bye from Melvin de Groot. Far from it. The 88 driver clearly soaring away at the wheel here. He's confident in the car. That's one thing we've noticed from day one, is that Alberto Nasca seems very comfortable in this car. As far back as qualifying, day one at Valencia, first day of the season, he was sideways. And Alberto Nasca is through. He was side by side with de Groot into the Jochen Rindt box. And now he is up into 6th place. Or is he? Has de Groot managed to draw back alongside? No, not quite. So Alberto Nasca has moved up the order. Claudio Capelli is there in 2nd place in that 18 car, which of course is in the hands of Giorgio Maggi in Euro NASCAR Pro. Thomas Pontonen, they're relying on some of the Scandinavian rally instincts there with a bit of gravel trapping. Holds on to 3rd place and is now challenging Capelli for 2nd. I'm interested to see what kind of pace Pontonen has here. Once he breaks free of Capelli, could he possibly try and hunt down the man in the lead? The best lap for Hazeman so far, a 38.4. The best lap for Pontonen, a 38.2. So he's a little bit quicker, but surely not enough to make up the gap between Hazeman's and the 2nd place battle, which is currently at 5.3 seconds on the 9th lap of the race. So clearly Hazeman's has been putting a shift in. You saw there a little bit of correction, a little bit of sideways from Capelli. I think he is keeping a hefty eye on the mirror right now as he comes towards one of the best overtaking opportunities on the lap. Has the overtake been made? No. Covering the inside there was Claudio Remigio Capelli. Capelli continues to hold 2nd place, but Pontonen will no doubt be continuing to show his nose at every possible opportunity. He doesn't show the nose into the final chicane, though. I think he's gearing himself up for a good run over the crest of the hill and towards turn 1. That's exactly what he's done, and here they come. Now down the main straight. No move made though from Pontonen. Still not quite close enough. Capelli is a wily driver. He holds on to 2nd place for now. Meanwhile, Alberto Nasca is now behind Christian Maltrek, of course, having got past Melvin de Groot. We'll see whether Nasca can challenge de Groot now. They go through shot there at turns 2 and 3. There's that battle for 2nd place. No change there. And there is our race leader briefly. We saw Hazeman's, but look at this battle between Capelli and Pontonen. The 18 car. Oh, Pontonen was late on the brakes there. I don't know what Jedi mind tricks or indeed the force he had there to stop his car from clattering into the back of Capelli, but it looked like he was quite a bit later on the brakes than the 18 in the 23. Through the Villeneuve chicane they go. Again, Pontonen just taking a slightly different line, a slightly wider entry into the corner to try and give himself a better run out of the turn on the power. You saw him power sliding as well through turn 7, or out of turn 8, I should say. And great to see that he is fully committed to this. Maltrek now under pressure from Alberto Nasca as well. I understand that Alina Neubneger is back in the pits again, so Alina unfortunately is having more issues, and that could be a gift for Luli Del Castello in the lady trophy ranks. She currently runs 16th place in the 54 Cal Racing car. Going for 5th place in the 88 Cal Racing car is Alberto Nasca, though. He's up the inside of PK Car Sports' Christian Maltrek, and he makes it look easy. That move was basically done as soon as they came out of the last corner. Alberto Nasca is through into 5th place then for now. We'll see whether Maltrek can fight back. But typically, the Nasca routine today has been make up a position, disappear up the road, onto the next one. He is now, though, getting to the very sharp end of the order. He is, of course, now in 5th place, so he is matching his Vallelunga performance. And, of course, the worst result of the season was yesterday. Let's see if he can get any further up the order in the remaining laps. He's got a little bit of road to make up before he even gets involved in what is increasingly looking like a 3-car battle for 2nd place. I think Capelli is maybe focusing on Pontonen more so than his lap times right now. They've also got some traffic up ahead. Who is that? That's the number 40 car, if I'm not mistaken. That is Matthias Hauer, who stays well out of the way. Nicely done by Matthias Hauer. And so this 2nd, 3rd and 4th place battle, not sure they'll be aware yet that Nasca is coming, but I assure you he is. Liam Hazeman's across the line then to begin lap 12 of the race, and he is leading by over 6.5 seconds right now. Drag race to the first corner between Capelli and Pontonen. Pontonen with the outside line. Surely he's not going to hold it all the way around the outside. He's got a nose to the quarter panel of Capelli, but he couldn't quite do it. Capelli holds on to 2nd place for now, and Delso is firmly in that scrap now. There's no two ways about it. It is a 3-car fight, and at the moment it is Pontonen, the primary aggressor, up against Capelli, who for the 2nd lap in a row looks like he locks up going through turn 4. Doesn't seem to compromise his run through the corner, however, so he continues to press on. Curb hopping over turn 7. We spoke to Mark Goosens yesterday with Andre Viegold, and just almost running himself off the track there was Capelli over the crest of the hill. He's done well to keep that on track, but he was on the grass. He's got the car stopped for the chicane mercifully as well. That's a little bit of a BPM soaring moment there for Capelli. It certainly was for me, so I can only imagine how it was in the car. Pontonen, though, finally alongside Capelli by the looks of it, as they run down towards this corner, and just still ahead somehow is Capelli. He will not stay down in this scrap. Alberto Nasca is now on the back of Delso as well. The drivers from 2nd to 5th place could finish this race in any order right now. They are so close and so evenly matched in that battle for 2nd place. Alberto Nasca, even though he's caught up quickly, he's going to struggle to get past everybody. You see that he is firmly on the wheel tracks now of Ulis Delso. They break for turn 1 once again. They're running out of laps. It's 3 to go here at Zolder in the final race of regular season in Euronascar 2 before we drop the 2 worst scores of the year and move on to the double point season finale in Grobnik, Croatia. We apologise again for the slight technical issues ahead of today's race. There was a brief internet outage here at the circuit, but we are bringing you this race now in full and in splendour. And we do have a yellow flag out on circuit, and I believe it's for Paul Dufro because he has not come across the line this time by. He was due across the line some 35 seconds ago. I'm not sure where the yellow flag is, but Paul Dufro, I believe, is the cause of it. Nonetheless, this battle for 2nd place continues on. And look at this. Pontonen has managed to get himself through while I was studying the timing screens there. And not only has he gotten through, but he is incredibly sideways. So Pontonen has finally done it. Can he now hold off Capelli, who I'm sure, after doing so much defending, wouldn't mind getting the elbows out to attack? Let's see if he can maybe, just maybe, challenge Pontonen once again. Delso and Nasca, though, keeping a watching brief and taking a keen interest in hopping into the podium places. Nasca still there in 5th, so he hasn't managed to improve. Paul Dufresne is in a very tricky place. It said yellow flag at, and it didn't want to specify a corner. Well, that was because he's on a straight. He's on the main straight there in a really bad position. But it looks like we're going to try and cover this under local yellows. Hopefully everyone can see the fluorescent green and black car. Capelli continues to pressure. We've got 2 to go here in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Euro NASCAR 2 always provides excellent action, and this race has been stellar. We've been lights to flag green so far, but that hasn't quelled the action in the slightest. We just saw Capelli going rally crossing briefly there, and Ulis Delso putting the pressure on. Pontonen not home free either. He's maybe got a car length or 2 over the 18 driver Claudio Remigio Capelli, but it's not a lot. It's not enough to be comfortable, and Pontonen looked like he was having to scrap with the grip a little bit, so I wonder if he spent the Hoosier rubber with some of his sideways antics earlier in the race. Nasca has hit a bit of a brick wall here, hasn't he? Because he climbed up to 5th place in fairly short order. Since he got to the back of Ulis Delso, that progress has paused. Saying that, though, he's right on the back of the number 3 car as they turn in to the 3rd last corner of the lap, the Jochen Rindt Bocht. And has he made the move stick there? No, not quite. It's number 3 versus the number 88. It could have been Dale Earnhardt versus Dale Earnhardt Jr. Of course, Dale Jr. ran the 8 car while Dale Sr. was still racing. So then, final lap of the race, and it is the 50 car of Liam Hazeemans that leads by 8.5 seconds. Liam Hazeemans is well clear, short of disaster. We expect him to take that checkered flag first. The big question is who's going to be following him. It looks as though Pontonen has a comfortable enough lead now. Sans mistakes to hold on to 2nd position. But what about Capelli? What about Delso? And what about Alberto Nasca, who is going to be on the 3rd step of the podium? I think that Capelli right now is in the strongest position, naturally, because he has 3rd position. But Delso and Nasca are not far behind, and Nasca got a nice run out of the 1st chicane and up the brow of the hill towards the Villeneuve chicane. I think Capelli might be safe in 3rd place at this stage. Ulis Delso, not so much. Alberto Nasca would like to move further up the order. If he were to finish in 5th place, that means he would drop 2/5 from his regular season standings, which would still be a fabulous season. If he can get a 4th place in the final gasps, he would be more than happy to oblige. Through the final chicane, though, comes Liam Hazeemans. He will crest the hill now. Here comes the 50 car emblazoned with the colours of the Dutch flag. It's the closest thing to a home race for Liam Hazeemans. He considers it a home race, and he crosses the line to take the win here at the Circuit Zolder. Pontonen takes 2nd, 3rd place for Capelli, and just holding on to 4th place is Ulis Delso. Alberto Nasca, our championship leader coming into this weekend, our championship leader coming out of this weekend too. But the margins between he and Liam Hazeemans have come down significantly here today and indeed yesterday, ahead of our double point season finale at Grobnik, Croatia. In 6th place, Christian Maltrek has already crossed the line ahead of Melvin de Groot, who won the Legends Trophy element of the race ahead of the returning Kenko Miura. Patrick Schober taking 9th. Yevgen Sokolovsky has rounded out the top 10 in this race. Roberto Benedetti in 11th place. Mikhail Blekemolen in 12th place. Miguel Gomez 13th. Luli Del Castello, the first of the Lady Trophy runners home. You see the top 10 drivers on there. A good batch of drivers for sure. Some who maybe wouldn't have expected a top 10 today. Patrick Schober didn't start from that strong of a starting position, but he managed to work his way up. Yevgen Sokolovsky was losing places in the early going. He managed to hold on to 10th place eventually, a tip of the cap to him. Second in the Lady Trophy was, I think by default, it was Arianna Casoli, really. Everyone else seemed to disappear. Of course, Alina had her problems, so it was Arianna Casoli who took second in the Lady Trophy, which is great to see for her in the number 14. But Luli Del Castello with two really strong results here in EuroNASCAR 2 this weekend. Top 10 yesterday, 14th overall today, and she will go into the Grobnik season finale with a lot of confidence as it pertains to the Lady Trophy class. Liam Hazeman, for the second consecutive day then, is a race winner in EuroNASCAR 2. This young man has been setting the world alight here in the world of EuroNASCAR. He's in the pro class as well as EuroNASCAR 2, and he has been stunning so far this year. It was, I believe, his third win of the season yesterday, and that means this is win number 4. And there is the number 50, the Hendricks Motorsport car, which I note is a Toyota now. It was a Mustang previously, and the Toyota from Hendricks Motorsport is once again proving to be a formidable machine. The number 50 of Liam Hazeman's, the Hazeman's family dynasty, is alive and well. You see the rest of the field trundling by, including Alberto Nasca, our championship leader. Nasca and Hazeman's will be the two primary contenders going into the season finale. There are other people within mathematical points range as well, for sure. But those are the two drivers in the strongest positions going into the finale. Of course, there will be 2 scores dropped from the regular season results. The regular season ended just now in EuroNASCAR 2 before our double points weekend in Grobnik, Croatia. We'll have a full breakdown of the point situation so you can know the permutations when on the EuroNASCAR.com website. So keep an eye on the official confirmation there. But we see Liam Hazeman's out of the car very shortly. I think he is now ready to celebrate. And Hazeman's straight to the roof. Once again, it is Liam Hazeman's on the victory lane. Another well-earned, hard-earned, well-deserved victory. Realistically, this was one of his easier race wins. He drove away from turn 1 onward, held the circuit comfortably into turn 1, and just extended the gap from there over the chasing pack. No one had the pace to match Liam Hazeman. I did it this time. No one had the pace to match Liam Hazeman's day, except for perhaps Alberto Nasca. Nasca, though, had to start from row 8 of the grid. So for Liam Hazeman, it was something of an open goal, and he put his boot through it to score a victory in today's race. I believe that in a moment we'll see the helmet off for Liam Hazeman. I can see that Andre Viegold and his cameraman are there stationed and ready to go. And as soon as Liam is free, and he is now free from his hands, device and helmet, I'm sure we'll hear from Andre and Liam.
You wanted to make sure we have an epic final at Grobnik, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It couldn't be better. I mean, yeah, it was just an awesome weekend. I mean, thanks to all my team. Like, I mean, you know, to win with, I think it was 8 seconds or 9 seconds. You cannot do it if you haven't a good car. So thanks to them. And yeah, just an awesome weekend. We couldn't hope for more.
Alberto Nasca, he stormed from the back to the field, at least close to the top 5. So it's going to be a very close battle. What are you expecting for Grobnik?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we just have to keep our head focused for next race. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice title battle. I mean, you know, I mean, it's, yeah, we're like, I think, now 20 or maybe 15 points difference. So, yeah, and with the double points, everything can happen. So, yeah, on to Grobnik, we'll see how it goes.
All right, thank you so much. Proficiat. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you. Yes.
Anything can happen. I think he just summed it up. in 3 words. Liam Hazemans with a fabulous performance in that one. We'll see him up on the podium shortly, I have no doubts, and hopefully we get that podium ceremony in. It is a packed schedule of racing here today, so we might have to cut away promptly so the broadcast team here at Zolder can move on to the next race, but hopefully we get a little bit of time. I see a wonderful hat adorned to a racing driver. Andre Wiegold has more.
Yes, I'm here now with Thomas Pöntinen. Amazing fights there for second place. Just talk us through your race.
Yeah, it was not really easy starting from P8. Had to make some moves, but we did it. Unfortunately, Liam got start first place, so I didn't catch him. So.
But we see that the pace is there. You're there to fight for the win, right?
Yeah, hopefully we can get some money to Croatia, but we'll see.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Sounds like budget may be a concern for Pontonen. Certainly, you couldn't wish for a better driver to adorn your business to the side of. He has been in the action all year long, usually at the very sharp end, and that means the cameras point at him. So hopefully he is at the season finale. Another interview now for Andre.
I'm here with Claudio Capelli. First ever Euronascar podium, overall podium, after a nice fight.
Nice fight, yes. The number 23, the Finland guy. I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce the name, but it's very kind guy. Nice battle, nice pressure, but every time correct. So I like this race. To start in front is not to like to start in the middle of the zoo. So it's fantastic. No damage to the car. Team made a great job because it's the Giorgio Maggi car. Giorgio Maggi is third in the pro, so the pressure to give back the car as they give me. So everything is was going good. So I'm very happy, very happy. Thank you so much.
Grazie mille. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Euronascar's finest beard adorned to Claudio Capelli, and great to see him on the podium. Delighted for him, as a matter of fact. He's had a great season to this point. Had an extensive chat with him a couple of months ago in the paddock, and he really is a great guy to talk to. And I believe we've got Alberto Nasca down there in the pits.
Yes, we have him here. Alberto Nasca, you storm from the back of the field to the front, and we will have an epic battle for the title at Grobnik. Just talk us through this marathon of a race for you.
Yeah, I mean, we were super unlucky yesterday. I mean, I really don't know what to say. Gearbox broken in the second lap, so I couldn't do the lap time. I went back to the pit lane. They changed the gearbox. Then all the drivers decided to be crazy and crash into every corner. 8 laps of safety car. I wasn't able to do the quick lap. I was forced to start 16th. And then today, no safety car. So I have to gain every position fighting. I mean, you can't do anything against bad luck. You can just fight and bring home as many points as you can. The team did an incredible job. I think I did an incredible job. It just was not our weekend. So in the end, I got close to the podium and I said, okay, what do? Should I fight and destroy all the good things I've done, or wait behind and bring home points? I saw that the guys in front were fighting like it was the final of the championship of the world, of the universe. I said, okay, no, guys, stay there. I don't want to crash in the final lap. They were really fighting like it was for life. So I said, no, screw it. I wait here and I bring home points. At least I get 4 more points for the best comeback. So it's like if I finish second. My brain is not able to do math now, but
we will make it for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll wait for that.
All right, grazie mille, congratulations. Nice race.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Ciao.
Well, it's good to hear from Alberto Nasca, and yeah, we do believe he made the most, or gained the most positions across the race, so a salient point from him that he should get some bonus points as a result of that, which is very useful indeed. Alberto Nasca, always great to hear from here in the paddock. One of the friendlier faces. and of course one of the more popular faces. I know a lot of you are watching to support him as fans of his YouTube channel. Nasca has been a revelation this year in EuroNASCAR 2. This weekend has been difficult for him, but you heard there the calculated thinking from the Italian racer, simply saying, well, you know what, these guys are really putting pedal to the metal, and I don't really want to have any metal scraped off my car. I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to get some solid points, and I'm going to get on with it. Good thinking from Alberto Nasca, and that is the kind of thinking that often does lead to a championship. However, with double points available in Croatia on October the 29th and 30th, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. However, we are about to have our podium ceremonies. We will start off with the race podium. We will welcome Claudio Capelli to the third stop on the podium in just a few moments' time. We've heard, of course, from our overall podium already. Capelli there had some great kind words for Tuomas Pontonen, which was really nice to hear. There is a good amount of respect in this paddock. I think in general there's a bit more maturity around any incidents that do happen. People are willing to talk it out, and people are willing to hold their hands up, etc., etc. Sometimes it gets a little bit feisty among the quicker drivers, the drivers with a career on the line. But overall, this is a very friendly place to do your racing. You see there the purple Hoosier caps are adorned to the drivers, a good sign that the podium is imminent. Liam Hasemans has quite the collection of those caps at this point. His successes continue, not just in EuroNASCAR 2, he's also having a good time in EuroNASCAR Pro this year. More and more, it seems as though Liam Hasemans is every bit the driver of his elder brother Loris, last year's EuroNASCAR Pro champion. So hopefully we will get the drivers out there in just a few moments. And here they come now.
Ladies and gentlemen, your applause please for Claudio Capelli.
There is Claudio Capelli then, third place for him in that 18th car. As he said, we'll hand that over to Giorgio Maggi tomorrow. There is our second place finisher, Tuomas Pontonen.
The trophy is
Liam
presented by
Hasemans
Yannick Vermeer by Wheel & Series.
to the top step of the podium. Time for the Dutch national anthem, I believe. Except, no, of course, the trophies first. Do this in the correct order. Smart thinking. Capelli receiving his third place trophy. The victor's trophy going to Liam Hasemans. That's a 10-year-old carafe of cognac. So he's got a bit of booze to contend with as well as his first place trophy. So he has done very well out of this race win. And here's the anthem.
Your applause, please, for Liam Hasemans, Claudio Capelli, and Tuomas Pontonen. And then now, champagne!
And exiting stage right, some of the wiser people on the podium as the champagne sprays. Liam Hasemans is a race winner in EuroNASCAR 2 once again. I think that race suit is still stained from yesterday's alcoholic beverages, and good to see that Claudio Capelli embracing both of our other podium finishes. The two clearly, all three of these drivers clearly on good friendly terms after that race. Liam Hazeman's very much stayed out of trouble today, of course. He drove away at the first possible opportunity. Ever since the first lap, it looked as though Hazeman's was in prime position to lead the way, although there was a little bit of, always a little bit of trepidation. Who knows what could happen to the car? Who knows what mistakes could be made over 15 laps? But that was a textbook example of how to control a Euro NASCAR race from Liam Hazeman. Next up, we have the Rookie Trophy podium, which is Alberto Nascar's opportunity to take the top step. No, sorry, this of course is the presentation of the championship leaders decal, which will sit atop his windscreen for the Croatian season finale. Alberto Nascar, despite this weekend's trials and tribulations, is still our championship leader and could still be favourite in the eyes of many in the championship. He's going to need to have better form than he had and fewer mechanical issues than he did. That is our championship leader then. The 29th and the 30th of October will play host to our season finale in Grobnik, Croatia. There is another race imminent here at Zolder, so we have to sign off for now. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you join us in just a couple of hours' time for Euro NASCAR Pro. It's goodbye for now.
The trophy is presented by Theo van der Ven.